And we've spent a great deal of time over the past 6 months talking about hitting mechanics. And then as we got into the season, we talked a lot about the timing aspect of the swing. Once those two things, we feel like we have them in check, the ultimate definition of success is going to come from pitch selection. So we're going to spend some time today talking about how we can train pitch selection throughout the year and then refrain from doing the cardinal sin as a hitter, and that's getting ourselves out. We know the stats in hitting. 3 out of 10 makes you a Hall of Famer, and hitting is one of the hardest things to do in all of sports. If we can simply refrain from taking that percentage and making sure we don't get ourselves out as a hitter, then we can open ourselves up to have much more success at the plate. And here's what I mean by that. We all know what our hot zone is as a hitter. Most players can handle 2/3 of the plate. Where that is for them is going to be different for each individual. But if we can confine early in the count and up in the count to that 2/3 of home plate, then we're going to have a much greater chance of success. Meaning, if we get a ball in that hot zone, most hitters would tell you that they're going to hit 6 or 7 out of those balls hard out of 10. The percentages say if we're hitting 6 or 7 balls hard out of 10, we're probably getting 4 of those to fall for hits. However, you go outside the fringe of that zone, just a quarter of an inch, and all of a sudden our statistics start to drop dramatically. So if I go on the fringe of the zone and I get out of our hot zone and we're going on pitcher's pitches now, balls that are on either corner, that percentage drops from we're hitting the ball hard 60 to 70% of the time to about 10 to 20%. It's a dramatic drop-off. And that's where I say, when we're swinging at those pitches early or up in the count, it's not the pitcher that's getting us out. It's our fault. We've gotten ourselves out. So what we have to do is train hitters in order to figure out what is their hot zone, number one, and then how do we stay in that hot zone during our at-bats through the season. And here's how I do this. Throughout the off-season, when we go from the fall and winter training, I don't spend a great deal of time confining hitters to staying in their hot zone. I want them to explore and figure out what they can handle as a hitter and what they struggle with. So I'll allow them to be more aggressive in their hitting approach and swing at balls even outside of the zone. Get a good understanding of the pitches that they can handle and what they can't. So that when we get into the season and we start working on timing, more moving pitch drills from a greater distance, now we're going to incorporate our approach into all of the drills. So when I go front toss and when I go live and we're preparing for the season or we're doing in-season drills, I want them to use the same approach that they're going to have earlier and up in the count in the cage. So now we're talking about pitch selection. When we're hammering balls in that zone, I make a note saying, do you understand that we're having balls in your hot zone and you're reaping the success because of it? When we get balls out of that zone, I'll ask the hitter the question, where was that pitch? And I'll have them point to home plate with a bat and show me specifically where they thought that was. So there's feedback. There's give and take with the coach and the player to help them understand what their zone is and if they're staying in it. So we have to be able to train that in order to do it in a game. To get mindless hitting reps in a cage and just work on your swing and work on your timing and then think that players are going to stay in their hot zone within a game setting is ludicrous. They have to have the same training scenario simulated when we get in the cage as well. So in all of the moving pitch drills that we do, once we feel like we've attacked the mechanical side and the timing side, I want to make sure that every moving pitch has a pitch selection piece in it as well. And we talk about that per rep, and we make sure that the hitters maintain their focus throughout the drill series. That's going to be the biggest piece when you're doing 30-minute sessions in a cage with a team or maybe a lesson scenario. You have to maintain a great deal of focus to stay confined in that zone. And we want to err on the side of aggressiveness, of course. But we also want to make sure that players aren't getting into that mindless hit-to-hit mode. So finally, if we can do that in a cage, we can take it out to a game, we'll start to take out those at-bats where we're getting ourselves out, swinging at fringe pitches or pitches out of the zone, and we'll stay confined to that 2/3 of home plate that we consider our hot zone. So the next time you get in the cage in season, let's make sure we're working that pitch selection as well. We have some great drills for it on EliteBaseball.tv. Come see us for our Summer Sizzler Special, where we're doing free video analysis for anybody that signs up for the year program. Until next week, I'm Justin Stone from EliteBaseball.tv, coming to you from the Majestic Coaches Corner, and we'll see you on the field.